This question is asking us about a trigonometric identity. It says, if sine of theta squared plus cosine of theta squared is equal to 1, and sine of theta is equal to 1/2, what is cosine of theta? This is a Pythagorean identity. That's the sine squared plus cosine squared of theta is equal to 1. And that can often be a concept that is considered more advanced. But this question, and many like it, are often easier than we might think. So if we take a look at this, it says sine of theta squared, and let me just write that for clarification. This can look a little confusing. It's squaring the function. So it can be written this way, sine of theta squared. So you're squaring all of that value. Okay? But we're told that sine is equal to 1/2, and we're asked to solve for cosine. So if we take this, we can substitute in sine of theta into this first piece of the expression. So 1/2 squared plus cosine of theta squared is equal to 1. All right, and we can just square the numerator, square the denominator, and that would give us 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4. So now we have 1/4 plus cosine squared of theta is equal to 1. We can take a look at this for a second and kind of see what it is we're being asked. 1/4 plus something has to equal 1. And you could think about it and say, okay, 1/4 plus 3/4 is equal to 1. And we can show that by, we're just trying to get cosine by itself. So let's try to isolate cosine of theta. We'll subtract 1/4 to both sides. That leaves us with the left side of the equation just being cosine squared of theta is equal to 1 minus 1/4 is 3/4. Again, the whole goal here is to get cosine by itself. So what's being done to cosine? It's being squared. To undo squaring something, we'll take the square root of both sides. And again, what we do to one side, we must do to the other. So the square root of cosine squared is just cosine of theta. And the square root of 3/4, you can take the square root of the numerator, which would be the square root of 3, divided by the square root of the denominator, and the square root of 4 is 2. And when we do that, we see that what we're being asked to solve for, cosine of theta, is equal to the square root of 3 over 2, and we can find that in selection J.